Hello students, how are you? I hope you are all doing good. I am very happy to see you all. Have you all watching your Kalvi TV? Good students. Have you all listening carefully? Very good. So I feel so happy to stand before you. Today is the best day ever. Listen students, today we are going to see a lot of interesting things in your class. Have you all taken your book? Very good. Now we are going to see a different type of things. Can you just recall what are the things I spoke to you? Yes, it's a how are you students? Have you all taken your book? Listen carefully. Today is the best day ever. I feel so happy. So what are the marks given at the end of the sentence? It's question mark, full stop, exclamation marks. So what are these marks are said to be? These are said to be the punctuations. Punctuation is nothing but it's a sign or symbols used to clarify the meaning of the sentence, so that we have to use the punctuation marks. So can we just recall what are the punctuation? Comma, semicolon, colon, full stop, apostrophe, exclamation marks, question marks, inverted commas and dash. So let me all go through the punctuation and its importance. Why we are using punctuation in the sentence? I'll give you an example. Let's eat grandpa. Let's eat grandpa. So what is the difference between first sentence and the second sentence? We are using the comma in between eat and grandpa. So if you use comma in the after eat, the sentence will give you a meaning that you are calling your grandpa for a dinner. If you don't use comma after eat, that is let's eat grandpa, the sentence gives a different meaning, that is you are going to eat your grandpa. So students, now can you just know the importance of the punctuation? I will give one more example also. Kill him, not leave him. Kill him, not leave him. Kill him and not leave him means, that is you should kill him, you should not leave him from the punishment. Kill him not means that you should not punish him, you should leave him from the punishment. So the comma itself gives a lot of implied meaning in the sentence. Now we will go into a detailed study of what is punctuations. Comma, it indicates a short pause. For example, if it is a long sentence, you should understand the meaning of the sentence. No, for that you have to put comma. It indicates a short pause. I was born on 9th August 1990 in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So you have to use comma after August and after 1990 in Lucknow, and at last you should use full stop. The next one is semicolon. It's a stronger pause than a comma. It also shows a strong relationship between one sentence and another. For example, you take for an example of situations, you are playing and the rain, it was a heavy rain. How will you say? It was raining, so the game or play was cancelled. So it's a continuous process. There is a relationship between one sentence and also the another sentence. So the example is it was raining, comma, the game was cancelled. So you should use that semicolon after the first part of the sentence. The next one is colon. Colon is used to follow, shows that if a sentence is written or said, there should be a remaining things follow after the first part of the sentence. For example, if you give a list of things that you want to buy in a grocery shops, for example, I am going to a grocery shop to buy vegetables and fruits, etc., etc. So for that etc, you will be using that. Before etc, you will be using a comma. I will give you one example. I like to play all kinds of sports. Before giving the list, you will be using the colon. It shows that something is following after the sports, that is football, cricket and tennis. Full stop, I think you will be familiar with the full stop. When you use the full stop, very good. It is the imperative sentences and also declarative sentence. What is the imperative sentence? That is a commanding sentence or the request. What are the commands? Can anyone say one command? Yes, stand up, sit down, keep quiet, and one request, please stop talking. So we will be using, regularly we will be using full stop after the imperative sentence or the declarative sentence. For example, write neatly. After that, you have to use full stop. The next punctuation mark is exclamation marks. When will you use the exclamation mark, students? Yes, to show your feelings, strong emotions. It may be a happy or sad or whatever feeling it is, you have to use the exclamatory marks. So it is said to be the interjections expressing sudden emotions or wish. What are the interjections? Alas, oh, ho, wow, wow. These are the exclamation marks we'll be using after the interjections. The next one is question mark. The question mark we will be using after the direct question. It can be used both for WH questions and also the auxiliary verbs. So WH questions, you know what is WH question? What is your name? How are you? When will you go to the home? Like this, you can use the WH questions. At the end of the sentence, you should use the question mark. Can you give some more examples for WH questions? How old are you? Very good. The next one is the WH question. After that, auxiliary questions. Can anyone make auxiliary questions? For example, do you like your class? Yes. Did you eat your breakfast? Yes. So these are the questions. The next punctuation mark is dash. It is used to show an abrupt stop. That is, without saying you will be stopping a sentence. No, for that case, you have to use the dash. The next one is inverted commas. Inverted commas, when will you use the inverted commas? The inverted commas have to be used when a great sayings should be quoted. Sometimes if anybody is talking in a direct manner, their sayings can be written in the inverted commas. For example, Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit. So Shakespeare is a great person. He is a famous dramatist or poet. So his sayings should be written in an inverted comma. The sentence should start with quotation and it also end with quotation. After that, you should use the full stop. The next one is the apostrophe. Apostrophe is used to indicate the one's possessions or the omission of letters. What is a possession? If you have anything that what it is, you want to say it's a Kumar bag, Kumar's bag. Raju's book, likewise. So after that Raju or Kumar, after that noun you should be using the apostrophe. The next one is forms of verbs. The forms of verbs already you could have studied detailed manner. That is main verbs you have studied auxiliary verbs, and there are also a lot of verbs here. Following worksheets we are going to see present tense, past tense and the past participle. So each verb has the different forms. Regular verbs will be using, for example, I will give one example for regular verbs. That is jump, jumped, jumped. Past tense, that is ed, and past form also that is ed. Irregular verbs, but this case is different. For example, go, the past tense will be went and the past participle will be again gone. So it's totally different. If you want to learn the different forms of verbs, that is both regular and irregular verbs, you can refer your textbooks that is given in a detailed manner. So now we are going to see the worksheets. That is worksheet page number 69. So here they have given wrongly, that is worksheet 19. Actually, this is worksheet 20. So please change it, students. This is worksheet number 20. Now we will move on to the worksheet first exercise. Fill in the blanks with appropriate punctuation marks. So can you guess what are the punctuation marks already we have studied? Yes, there are a lot of punctuation marks. There are capital letters, quotations, question mark, full stop, apostrophe and comma. Here you can remember that it is starting with a WH question. Where are you going? So after the WH question, what you are supposed to use? Yes, that is question mark. Good. The next one is fill in the blanks with suitable forms of verbs. Here they are given 3 verbs, V1, V2 and V3. Children, if you go through the textbook, you could have known about what is V1, V2 and V3. I will explain. That is V1 is nothing but the present form of the verb, V2 is past tense and V3 is participle. When will you use the present form of the verb? That is when the action is taken place regularly, you will be using the present form of the verb, and past tense, that has happened already. That is yesterday's event, you will be using past tense. So here they have given, you are just going to write only what is given left out. So first they have given one example. No is in present tense and you have to change it into past tense is new, and the next one is participle known. So the next example is buy. They have given in a present form. What is the past form of buy? Yes, very good. Its past tense is bought. The same is repeated in past participle also. The next one they have given past form is jumped. You have to change into present tense, that is jump. The next last one is the different case, that is present, past and participle. The three cases also the same we are repeating. That is put and put. The next exercise, choose the correct options and fill in the blank appropriately. I dash when I heard the good news. Here two part of the sentence is given. First part they have given us a blank. The rest of the part is when I heard the good news. So here heard is a past tense. So again when there is a clue when. So it means that the sentence is a continuous, when a sentence takes place, when an incident takes place, there is also one more incident taken continuously, it took place continuously. For example, I heard the news. So when I heard the good news, there was something was happening, that is travel or traveled or I am traveling or was traveling. So below that four options, you have to choose continuous form. One is I am traveling or was traveling. So the heard is a past tense, so you are choosing was traveling, that is a correct option. Good. One you can do as a homework, students, because already we have dealt in a detailed manner punctuation marks. So I'll just give a clue. First sentence should be in capital letter. Wherever comma and quotations you have to insert, please remember and just try to complete this worksheet. The next one we are going to see is filling the boxes appropriately. They are given as a clue today and yesterday. Today is a present tense and yesterday is a past tense. So while doing this exercise, students, please remember that you have to read the sentences carefully because you have to find out the verb which is the present form. She is sleeping. Here is a what type of verb it is? Present tense or past tense? Yes, it's a present continuous tense. So what is the past form of the is? That is was. Already they have given as an example. So she was sleeping. The next sentence is my friends are tired. Here which is a verb, students? Very good. Or is a verb. So what you have to change into a yesterday? So it's a past tense. You have, what is the past form of or? It's a were. So the next remaining two, I think you can do it, students, as a homework and you can check it with your teacher afterwards. The next exercise is spot the error and rewrite the sentences using the correct form of the verbs. Radhika start her day with a prayer every day. So here there is a clue, students. Every day expresses the regular work. So as already I have told you, every day shows the present form of the verb. So while reading the sentence, automatically you have to stick on to the verb. Here which is a verb? Start. Okay. There is a rule, students. You could have already studied. So here Radhika is a singular noun. So you have to use a start with a yes. So Radhika starts her day. The next one is tears rolled down his cheeks when he heard the story. Here already they have given one verb, that is heard is a past tense. So automatically you have to use another verb also in the past tense. The first part of the sentence, tear rolled down. So roll is a verb. You should change that roll into a past tense, that is rolled. The next sentence you can do as a homework, student. The next one is pick out any two verbs from the given below and write a sentence for each. So they have given four words, that is surprised, happen, yelled, accept. Surprised, I think you know what is surprise. You will be expressing your feelings. Oh, happen, the incident that took place, that is incident takes place. Yelled is laughing. Accept is somebody says anything, you will be accepting, you will be taking into a grant. Say, okay, I'll do it. So you have to use those words and you have to frame a sentence. Next one is the 9th exercise. Rewrite the passage using simple past tense. Students, this is very easy because simple past tense already you could have learned by using the table given in your textbook. What you have to do is you have to read the passage very carefully. The next time you have to underline the verbs. What are the verbs in the passage? So after identifying the verbs, because the sentences they have given only the present form, so underline all the present form of the verbs and change into a past tense. This you can do as a homework, students. The next one is they have given a picture. By seeing the picture, you have to write the 4 sentences. So very simple exercise. I think you will be very familiar about. What are the things you are seeing at the pictures? Some boys are playing, some girls are floating in the water. One boy is building a sand castle and another, his friend is helping by taking water, and you can see some of the trees and what are the things you can usually see in the boat, also in the beach. So by using these words, can you make a sentence? I'll give you one example. Yes, that is, a girl is floating in the water. A boy is building a sand castle. So can you make 3 more sentences, students? Very good. Students, I have taught you a few exercises. The remaining exercises, you can do it as a homework. We'll check the answers in the next classes. I think we have completed the worksheet 20 in a great manner. We'll see the next worksheet. Same punctuation and forms of worksheet number 21. Yes, now we are going to see the worksheet 21. The first question is choose the correct option question for the given sentences. They have given an answer and options they have given as a question. So first, yes, I met my uncle yesterday. This is a yes or no type answer. So the first sentence you have to read carefully and you have to find out the verb. For example, here I met my uncle yesterday. Here which is a verb? Met is a verb. How will you split the verb met? Met is a past tense. So by splitting the past tense, you should use did plus the past present form of the verb. So here did plus meet. So how will you frame the question? Did you meet? So the here answer is did you meet your uncle yesterday? The next question, you have to assume yourself as an interviewer and you are going to interview a firefighter students talking about his profession. So you have to ask a lot of questions about his professions. So they have given two, as usual, they have given two dialogues. Normally you will be asking salutations and afterwards. After that you have to be go in detail about their professions. First I will read out. Good morning sir. May I start the interview sir? Good morning, it's my pleasure. What do you want to know about firefighter? First of all, may I know dash. So here they have given, first itself they have given a blank and the end of the sentence they have given a question mark. So for completing this blank, you have to see what is at the next sentence. The next sentence they have given as an answer. The major roles of the firefighters are. So here you have to take this sentence as a clue. The first part of the sentence, the major roles of the firefighters, and that can be taken into a clue and you can complete the first part of the question, that is, may I know the major roles of the firefighters. Very good students, this is the way you have to make the question. So how will you use the yes or no type questions? You have to start with do verbs or did or does. It is in the present form and also you have to use plural verb, so you have to use do. Do you have any other responsibilities? The remaining question you can do as a homework, students. So that we will be move on to the next exercise. On the occasion of International Eco Day, you have to deliver a 2-minute speech on the importance of preserving ecology in the morning assembly. Write your speech in the blanks and present in your class. Here everybody knows that what is an ecology and what is the importance, because it's a very important one that we have to do it in our day-to-day life. We have to preserve our nature because a lot of species are dwelling in this ecosystem, not only human beings, animals and everybody is living in this ecosystem, and both of us are interdependent ourselves, so we have to preserve the nature. So these are the points I have mentioned you. So to adding to this points, extra points, you can do your speech, students. The next exercise is the Chief Educational Officer has visited your school. Now introduce him to your schoolmates. Here, assume that you are a class T leader and your school, our Chief Educational Officer, that is, CEO has come to your school to see you all visiting, and you have to take him to the class and you are introducing him to your other fellow classmates. How will you introduce? So, I am just giving you examples. I consider it as a great to introduce our CEO to our class. That is, you will be very happy to introduce our CEO. Yes. So, and you have to welcome him. For that, you should say, I heartily welcome him on behalf of our school. So, our school means it represents our headmaster, our teachers and also our other fellow classmates. So, CEO is not only as a great person, no? So, you have to add his he is a social worker and he is an educationist and philanthropist. He visits our school very often to ensure our standard of education. So, children, so you have to know the importance of the CEO and you have to introduce him in a great manner to your friends. Okay, if you want, you can add some more sentences also. The next is the teacher asked a question in the class and Vishwa is answered. So here they have given a sentence, yes, I have visited Kanyakumari. This is also like a previous question. So you can just refer that and you can do this answer. We'll move on to the next one. Choose the suitable verb for the given situation. So they have given one sentence, that is, Aruna has failed in his exam as he has not studied well. That is, Arun is a boy. He has failed in his exam. Why will be failing in his exam? Yes, because he won't study properly. So likewise, Arun also not studied properly and he has failed. So, and you have understood the meaning now, students, and they have given the three options. That is, as you sow, so you reap. Blood is thicker than water, an empty vessel makes much noise. So the first meaning of the first proverb is, as you sow, so you reap. So if you, what you do, you will be getting the result. That is what you, if you work hard, you will be getting a result. The next one is, blood is thicker than water. that is always that close relation you will be having any problem, you will be helping others. And empty vessels makes much noise. If you don't have any preparations, or if you don't anything, you will be just simply blabbering like this. No, that is a last option. So here the sentence you will be choosing the correct option is, as you sow, so you will be reaping. The next one is, read the following saying of Swami Vivekananda and write 4 sentences about it. So Swami Vivekananda is known for his famous quote, arise, awake and stop till the goal is reached. So this is a very famous quotation. Arise, awake. What is the meaning of arise? Whenever you fall, you have to stand up and you should not feel for your failure till you achieve your success. So that is arise, awake and stop till the goal is reached. So I will give you 2 sentences, students. You have to write 2 more sentences of your own. That is, first of all, we should believe ourselves. We should do whatever with the confidence. We should not fail, or we should not feel very bad when you come across any failure in your lifetime. The next one is, read the following quotes of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and answer the questions below. So here one sentence is given, dream is not that which you see while sleeping, it is something that doesn't let you sleep. So it's a famous quotation of Abdul Kalam. Usually everybody used to quote that. That is, dream is not what usually when you sleep you will get. That is not a dream. Here dream is something that makes you not to sleep. So can you give a meaning of what is a dream? Yes, that is, meaning of the dream is, it's a very good, your ambition, your goal or your aim. The next one is, you have to going to interview a famous doctor, and you are going to write 5 questions asking his professions by going in a detailed manner. So you will be already learnt about a lot of questions, for WH questions and also yes or no questions. I will give you 2 questions. For example, why do you choose this profession doctor, and what is your advice for the future doctor? Can you just write 3 more questions for this topic? The next one is, read the following story and choose the correct form proverb from the box and matches with the story and write it down in the given boxes. As this is also like the previous exercise, because we have seen that a sentence is given, and by reading the sentence you have to choose the correct proverb. The same thing here, they have given a story. You have to read the story once or twice, understand the meaning, and at last you have to choose the correct options from the given box. Very good, students. We have completed worksheet 21. The next one we are going to see the book review. Book review, it's a very different topic and also an interesting topic you have not familiar with. This topic I used to enhance our reading skill. So how will you enhance your reading skill? You have to read a book, at least your textbook, students, only then you can learn vocabulary. So after reading a book, you should understand what things that you have come across in the book. So for writing a book review, there are a lot of things we have to see. That is, I will point out in a 1, 2 and 3. So please note down. Please listen. After that you can note down. First one is, first what you will do by taking a book, you will see the color of the book, and then you also will see the topic of the book, the title of the title of the book, that is name of the book, and who is the author. The next one is, after completing the book, you will be saying whether it's a story is fiction, non-fiction, biography or autobiography. You know what is fiction? That is whether it talks about a story or something, a general topic, biography or a autobiography. The next one is, after completing the book, you have to know what are the summary of the story. Summary means the gist of the story. The gist can be enough 10 to 15 lines. That is whole story what you have to understood. So in that is a summary of, after reading the summary of the story, you will be impressed with 1 or 2 lines, no, that should be written in inverted commas. That is, great sayings of the people should be written in inverted comma. That is the 3rd point. The next one is, you should write about the characters. Sometimes there may be one character, or a lot of, if it is a story, many characters will be there. So you have to write the characters and also their what is the major role played by those characters. The next 5th point is, after writing that characters and everything, you'll be thinking about the particular incident or a character. That character will be impressed by you a lot because of their humor sense or anything else. So you'll be doing a lot of things. So you can mention about that person and why you have considered him as a favorite, and you should write why you like this book. That is the 6th point, your favorite book, why you have considered this as a favorite book and what is the reason. The next we are going to see this in a detailed manner, worksheet 22. So here they have given the read the following passage and answer the questions. They have given a 5-line paragraph. Please listen to me carefully. Gregor McKenna was diagnosed with breast cancer, and as a side effect to chemotherapy, she lost all her hair. To support her friends went under drastic informations and got their heads saved. Gregor McKenna, 35, was astounded when she was greeted by 9 of her friends who cut all their hair off in moving act of solidarity. The emotional moment was captured by the photographer who posted a video on YouTube, which has since got a viral. So here, this is like a daily day-to-day life. You'll come across a lot of incidents. No, likewise, this is also an incident student. Gregor McKenna was a lady. She was undergoing a treatment, cancer treatment, that is breast cancer, and due to that chemotherapy she lost all her hair and she felt very bad. So her friends want to comfort her, so they also saved completely their hair, and they give a moral support to this. This is the gist of the paragraph. So while writing the exercises, you have to read the paragraph passage again and again, so that you will be getting a lot of ideas, students. So after reading that, you should underline the difficult words and find out the meaning of that using dictionary, students. For example, I will give you one meaning for the difficult word, that is solidarity. Solidarity is a meaning unity. So unity is nothing but you will be always working together in a class or something like that. First sentence, astounded in this passage means greatly surprised. Here answer is greatly surprised because astounded is shocked with a happy mood. So it's a greatly surprised. The second one already I taught you that's a unity is nothing but working together. So using this you can write a sentence. The next sentence you have to write 2 incidents, that is 3 good deeds. Deeds means your activities, or you will be helping your friends, no, like that. So you have to write 3 sentences. How will you help your friends? Students, the next exercise is read the following table on safety rules for pedestrians and answer the questions. Third exercise, visit a nearby library, a story book you like in English, and answer the questions to write a review of it. Already I have given a detailed book review, students, what you are supposed to do while taking a book. So please try to visit a nearby library and just give a title of the book, cover of the book, and how it was. I have given one as an example. Next we will move on to the another exercises, that is use dictionary to find out the meaning of the following word, hazardous. So this also you can do as a homework, because you have to use lot of dictionary work, students, only then you will get an idea. 7th and then the next one, 8th one also, they have given a sentence, the audience was delighted by the performance of the musician. So you have to give a meaning for this word, delighted, and please refer the dictionary and find out the meaning. The next one is they have given a synonym for the word using thesaurus. Thesaurus is nothing but it is also like a dictionary. You can refer a dictionary also, and you can write a meaning for this. And after making that, you have to write a sentence. I hope that you have understood this work size, and it might be really interesting. Thank you all, students. Do all the homework and check the correct answers with your class teacher. Goodbye all.